Salah satu positif udah digunakan sebenarnya. Yang kalau misalkan Assassin sekarang yang mungkin ya terlupakan Bude, malah bukan di Nolan, bukan di Joy, karena dua hero ini bisa digunakan. Menurutku malah larinya ke Karina.
Tinggal kau pilih mana baik mana.
Oke.
Bener itu user handal banget. Pas zaman metanya Karina Tank kan?
Ya, Karina Tank pakai
Welcome
sawi.
ID juga ya.
Welcome
Karina
ID.
dan juga
Kan ada Freya yang di-ban oleh SRG.
Paling aman, paling ideal, paling stabil ya udah jelas Link. Link first pick. Di react pakai Eudora. Eudora Beleric nanti bisa dijawab pakai Valentina.
Iya. Atau mereka mau Valentina aja di awal.
Melepaskan Link.
Melepaskan Link ya.
Diadu sama Yishun Shin Kairi.
Wah. Banyak sih possibility. Tapi kalau
I wouldn't be that surprising too, because you still have some assassins on the board. Yeah, the Fanny's gone. If ever the link goes to SRG, you still have the Nolan that Kyrie plays with very well.
I think this is a three-step process, right? It is get the Beleric first, then pose the question to the opposite side. Do you want to show your mid laner? If you pick Valentina, then we can start choosing other mid laners that can attack your backline as well.
Right.
Things like maybe even Farsa, but this is under the assumption that that Ling is still part of the question. So we currently have 3 simultaneous equations going on, so algebra nerds go at it.
Zushin, a great pick, usually on the ban list, and the Paquito, which is a great pick as well, because it doesn't show as many of your cards. We mentioned the hesitancy and the struggle maybe between the gold laners here on the fighter meta, but Paquito could be flexed to a gold lane. It's not a guarantee that he's not, even though it's most likely not the case, Renmar. So what is this set up for now, the answer with Onyx?
I think you can go Barretts in the EXP for Onyx.
Even Esme.
Esme possible too if you want to look at the matchup, but
Uranus around.
Uranus Barrett. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Uranus Barrett's compared to the Esme, even though Esme is the normal counter that you see now up against a Paquito in lane, and they do go for the Uranus, that constant disrupt. You still end up getting the link for Onyx. I wonder if SRG are thinking about going back to Akai? No, it's gonna be too slow.
I think the only scary thing is whether or not they're going to, you know, see the previous games. They saw Recall playing
That's what I was just going to say. Paquito jungle, it's possible.
It is possible, but it's not one of my favorites here because, again, it falls off. That's the big problem with when you're facing up against Ling. Ling will naturally outscale you at level 15. Paquito is great in the early to mid stages of the game, but if you don't find that snowball lead, then it becomes impossible to get past the Beleric as well as the Uranus, which again, I think that Onyx have taken into consideration.
Question is also the underperformance of Ling. We saw some very high skill ceiling performances in our previous match. But with Uni, there's already a confidence conversation. He feels like he has it, but you can't not understand you're here in this moment. And do you want to play Ling? And also, do you want to play Paquito? Because if you're saying he's not going to trust playing Paquito right away, coming in as he's going to want something a little more safer, then you kind of expect, okay, maybe that is the EXP lane, and we can understand their draft a little more.
Well, we might be able to get a tail from SRG if ever the, let's say,
the bans.
They don't have to worry about the Esmeralda anymore. Because I'm thinking that Harith is still going to go well for them. Harith has done very well against lineups with the Ling. Once you get your power spike, even though you're in the full team fight, despite you going up against a Beleric, as long as you get away from the taunt and the Wrath of the Dryad is gone, Zaman Force gets dropped, and that even sends any Ling back away from the fight. You get the tempo with the Cho to help scale it faster. You move the Paquito away from the gold, you put that in the EXP or the surprise jungle. I could see the vision in it. It could work out.
What are they forcing mid here? I mean,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. I see the Eudora ban and it's like, but wait a minute. If we're trying to, I guess it could be a red herring. It could be saying like, you know, hey, Paquito might not go into the EXP, he might go into the jungle, but just in case, we need to show as if we are going to lock in another assassin in Red 4.
I mean, that would have been a good mid pick as well, because with the Beleric, you don't need the Valentina as much. And so maybe just saying, hey, we're going to limit your options. Now you're going to pick something that kind of would have done a better job for us in this lineup. You're a little weaker as a result of that.
This might actually be a jungle Paquito because if you look at the Cho and the Juicing together, they're not a combo. But if you put the Paquito in the jungle, then you get the combo of the pick off and then burst it down right away. As much as you use Cho as a means to just get that little crowd control, a lot of its value really comes from the fact that you could -1 someone right away.
But that's on the assumption that you minus someone with a full damage build. And most of the time, and right now, I think they have lack of damage. They have no form of scaling. They have a great form of peel, great form of catch, but if he's building like War Axe nonsense like that and not second into Malefic Roar, I don't know. I don't see it happening.
I mean, you look at a great gold laner there, and you see this team fight, you see the in and out and the pick-off potential from Ling. I mean, Onyx are looking very strong, very traditional in some ways, but very hard to beat.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Mid lane bans on the side of SRG, and should be a Melissa ban for the side of Onyx, right?
Melissa's not been played at all today. Banned, I think, once, maybe in our first set, but surprisingly not seen very often getting. What do you think that is? Because it's not a Melissa ban either. Just not worried she's coming out.
I think because they have potential answers to it, they can maybe try and get the resources out of it in a different, seemingly a different way. Because keep in mind, if you do end up picking Melissa, I think Sans is going to go for like Yi Farsa type nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. With the Valentina banned out, you can return to the Yi Farsa, and if ever SRG are thinking about going back to the tanks, if they show it now, tanks in the jungle, excuse me, if they show that now, then it's an easy Eve or Farsa pickup for Onyx. It's really up to you which one you think will mesh better with the lineup. If it's the Melissa, Ixia, anything like that, then the lack of dive maybe is what's gonna hurt Onyx. We did hear last time that the Melissa pickup from Yangon Galacticos was a mispick, and they did mean to pick up the Melissa, but it worked out well for them. But we go back to a possibility that we posed very early in the draft, and it is still gonna be the Harith for SRG. And yeah, it made sense with the Cho getting picked up, with them showing the Paquito, Juicing in the mid, it means that the Harith will be well supported.
I'm thinking about this. Is there a possibility of Leomort here if Farsa shows? I think that as of right now, they don't mind artillery mages because they've already got a couple of answers right here. If it's Farsa, for sure, they've got the Paquito to kind of disrupt that. They've also got the Cho to disrupt
Aurora!
As well. Aurora, a very interesting option. Very good for disengages as well. On top of re-engaging with some strong AoE from the Belric, that is a natural wombo combo.
Yeah, and that will make that Harith struggle really badly in team fights. Well, I mean, it just means that Innocent will have to really watch his timing even more.
I like this mid. One of my most played heroes in my limited experience.
It is very good.
But I lean towards having a little fun bias there on Onyx. The question is, do you like the Claude still? Is that enough? Claude versus Harith. Harith has been performing really well today.
Hey, it's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic matchup. Seems like we've gone back a little bit in terms of, or we've limited a little bit the craziness of the meta that we've seen so far. And they go for the Hilda. Huh?
Interesting. Okay, so their entire lineup mainly is going to be focusing, like, utilizing this Hilda to be able to kind of, double up on certain things. But it does mean that we have confirmation that Uni is actually going into the jungle with this Paquito.
Yeah.
And now the early game is a lot harder because as much as Paquito is strong in that early game, with the added addition of Armor Shred from Hilda, they could set up some potential gank angles.
Yeah, and real quick, besides the roam mid, I'm just looking how the Uranus and the Hilda will be handling the lane and making their presence felt. Whoever has more presence will win it for the team.
Well, Paquito jungle. What a spicy way to kick things off. The one time we've seen it, it's actually won here at MSC. And of course, when you look at this battle and that trophy in the middle, both of these teams have lifted it. It's the Battle of Champions, but only one can go through. It's SRG versus Onyx for this third series of the day. And we've got Mirko and Trex ready to call the action. Fellas?
Thank you so much, guys. We're jumping into the land of Dawn. My name's Trex, and this is Mirko. We're going to be doing the live action on this game. We got two Titans ahead of us, Mirko. It's Onyx up against SRG in a tournament life match. Someone's going home. Someone's moving on to the knockout stage. Typical emblems, mostly all around. A little bit of tenacity, though, onto Stormy, just in case the defense for the possible aggression that could come from Kyrie and the rest of the team. But the big surprise pick here, and also surprise sub that we got to see yesterday, Uni, and he's already starting things off with the Paquito jungle. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for quick aggression, right? You have the Cho, you have something that wants to play quickly around the map. you have someone that's going to have a huge power spike on this Paquito around level 3, level 4. If they can make some off-lane play and possibly get some decent ganks, maybe onto Kelra, maybe onto Loopy, maybe an invade onto Kyrie, that could be the win condition for SRG here.
Absolutely, man. I think that's exactly what they're going to try to play around. Cram already with the Master Assassin on the hill that goes from XP down below to try to deny Kyrie a farm. They will be able to get a camp away from Kai. On the Ling with Uni. Walking up on the Paquito, taking the Golem away. They'll still be able to get level 4 though, going up to the Lizard after the purple buff.
And killing spree as well on Uni here, right?
Yep.
So we're looking for big fights. We're looking for a lot of damage.
And it's just like, dude, I know we've been asking for this matchup, SRG Onyx, but to see it in the lower bracket as an elimination match instead of like a knockout stage match, it's just kind of sad. Just a tad bit sad.
Just a tad bit. Also a tad bit exciting.
Of course.
You know, we have to say this is also, it's unprecedented, but a lot of damage on Loopy up on the top side.
Doesn't even pop the consecration. He didn't expect that from the Master Assassin, Cram. Big pick up at the start of the game for Glacier now on Cram, but there's no follow-up. Cram able to walk up, and now it's going to be Onyx zone away from the neutral objective. Kai trying to go for the retry on his own purple buff. It's going to be free neutral objective again. Uni won't even retry it. He'll just be able to pick it up. And it's a slow game now as SRG take the lead.
And that's exactly what we wanted to see from SRG to make this composition work. Onyx has to be able to work around that. It's going to be a little bit more time for them to get to that point to be able to fight, especially picking up the Aurora. Yes, it's going to do well against some of these frontline fighters. You have the crowd control, but it's not a fast-moving mid lane. It's not an insane playmaker. That's something you would normally see Sans on. It's a slower hero. You get a lot of value and utility out of it, but it's not going to make those quick rotations that SRG is going to be making.
Those quick rotations for SRG up top as well, really threatening Lutpi earlier. Getting the pickoff is already massive for them to get the neutral objective, but then the whole team staying up top after taking a turtle, trying to abuse the fact that Lutpi had already used the Purify was also quite big. Made him a bit low. Also pops to the consecration for some reason up top there. Don't know if anyone really threatened him or it was just a mistap. But Lutpi will still be able to match this XP lead of Cram with an XP Crab take and a shove straight up.
Cram is playing this Hilda so aggressively, rotating around essentially the secondary tank, playing it almost like a roamer would the way he's playing on the opposite side of the river. Whoa!
Great way the Dragon finds him into the knockout strike of Moody! Breath of the Dryad to respond it over. Sounds walking up as well, but now it's going to be Keyboy, innovative of it all. Caught, oh my god! Frigid Glacier comes around to peel Yums with the G-Kuno and the flicker. Sounds caught in the bad spot, doesn't have the flicker. Cram with the swings of the battle axe. Uni! A triple kill against Onyx.
This is huge for Uni. It's 4-0 right now. Add a purple buff on top of that. And the thing about it is, it's 4-0 in kills, and every single one of those kills has gone to this Paquito. Let's take a look at the replay. It all started with the big Way of the Dragon. And even though Keyboy tries to help out by popping that Wrath of Dryad, it's just not enough. The damage, this is what I was talking about. You hit that level 4, you hit that level 5. Early game spikes. We're only 4 minutes in, and that's the thing about the Paquito. No pun intended, it packs a punch. Insane damage in the early game.
I mean, what is he packing in those gloves to be able to hit like that?
They're weighted gloves, man. They're weighted gloves.
Someone's got to check in, bro. Away the Dragon. Technically, they got an MMA advantage right now. Cho and Paquito, bro. With the physical defense reduction of the Cho, together with the crazy damage early on, that burst of the Paquito, no wonder they've just been deleted from the map.
You got the two best fighters in the land of Dawn on one team. Why hasn't anyone thought of this before? SRG now with a decent lead. Can they convert it into something more? They're going to move on to this bot lane. If they can start taking towers this early on, it's going to be huge for them. Maybe get the lane swap in. Once they start taking some towers, Cram can get involved. Onyx has to find a way to slow the pace. And Keyboy and Sans hanging out in these bushes, that's kind of what they're looking for. But Sans gets found out.
Yep, on the Aurora is going to get completely taken out by Cram now as Lutpi gets away just a bit from that Lantern Flare. Almost fully stacked up. Keyboy waited in the bush for a bit too long, now gets thrown back. Way the Dragon into Uni again! Oh, this combo is just deadly.
Sadly, I gotta say, wait a second, more action at the purple buff.
Retry from Kai, the 4 blades as well, but SRG got away just in time. Innocent as well, a level ahead of Kelra. Onyx are already forced to play the scaling game.
I want to go back to where Sans got picked off just now. And if those two, Keyboy and Sans, would have been in a slightly different bush, more on their side of the river to where Keyboy was in the mid bush, Sans in the bottom, everything would have been better. But instead they take the aggressive route and advance to SRG's side of the river. Even though they're behind, even though they're not in a position to be in that type of position on the map. And Onyx has to know what they're dealing with at 6-0. They cannot be the aggressive ones, not only in fights, but in positions on the map.
Way the dragon into Uni, walking up. Oh, he walks away from the Wrath of the Dryad. Leaves him for the rest of the team, just in case Onyx try to capitalize on the Wrath of the Dryad. And this is where the question starts to come up. Oh, Kyrie missed the Defiant Blade on the wall. A bit of panic there. Scram got close. But the question again, Trex, and to everybody here, usually the Aurora is picked up with a combo, a Kaja, a Cho, someone with single target lockdown, and this time it's with a Belleric. Just feels a bit off.
Yeah, Belleric has to kind of search for it, and that means Sans has to constantly be there. And a big kick!
Sanso has a passive there. Frigiglacier popped in as well. Scram's going to be frozen on their turret, but man, perfectly timed knockout again. Uni in a back. It's going to be innocent with a pickup as well as Lutpi is going to be slammed down to the ground. Another pickup for Innocent, a double. It's 10-1.
This is uncalled for at this point. The subbed in jungler, 5-0-4. This is his second game in MSC, and he is dominating the playing field. It's a mindset, right?
Where did Kyrie's health bar go? He almost got one shot by Uni.
Blue team's turret has been
Where's this guy got locked in for the items right now?
Absolutely.
Where's Uni at?
I have no idea
Start off
where
with
he's
the Hunter
at.
Strike, typical like that. Are we
really
all
surprised he doesn't have
Are we
Sky
into
Piercer.
third item at this point?
Dude, this guy has to be worried. Uni's doing so good. Kyrie gets the orange with the red tree still. Holy moly, 5-0-4.
All right, so SRG have now converted this huge gold lead into multiple towers, mid-tier 3 gone, top side all gone, and the way that SRG's moving amongst the map, they are just slowly compressing Onyx into their base. They've taken buffs. It is a tough game for Onyx. How do they even find a way out? And you said it. All they really have is Keyboy for the big engager. And for him to really get a surprise engage off, it has to be a flicker. Even Lutpi, this far behind with the amount of damage that SRG has, he can't harass the way you want to on a Uranus. And in the past, Uranus could still do it at maybe 0-2, could still do it at a 6K gold deficit, but we've been seeing how much trouble Uranus has been having in the meta currently when you fall behind like this. So it's going to be a while, if ever, that Onyx can really come online and re-engage these fights. They're going to have to let SRG come to them and look for the counterattack.
Yep, Kai can only just red tree the purple buff. That means it's going to be free neutral objective unless Onyx get a pick up, but it's going to be SRG with a move. Sounds of the flicker out already. Yums! Tiku with the flicker in the way. The dragon straight up with the Stormy Sky Piercer. Big Purify coming down now as Kelrick is able to get the Blazing Duet down into the back line as well. Stormy melted down by the god in the gold lane. Kai with those blades picked up now as SRG are still able to get a 2-for-2 trade.
Very well done by Onyx though, Kelra. We fail to talk about Kelra. He's 2-0-1 right now. He's been having the gold lane experience. He's been waiting for his time to shine, and we just saw the damage come out. Innocent, though, does lock in Holy Crystal. It's going to be more damage from him as well. Let's take a quick look at the replay. I want to keep our eyes on Kelra because he knows he has to move down. Keyboy comes in a little bit late to pop that Wrath of Dryad, and right when it pops, Kelra BMIs forward, uses the Blazing Duet on the backside, and outputs the damage, matched up by Kyrie's Tempest of Blades, and then able to just get away. Uni doesn't go down, no, they're not able to get the big shutdown onto him, but still, they're able to kind of slow down SRG a little bit.
Gotta give props to Uni though there. It really looked very dicey, but he was able to get those stacks back up, get the damage reduction out so that it doesn't die to Kelra on the Blazing Duet. But Yums, he's had one member in his eyes. It's just Sans, dude, every time. Walks up, sees Sans, especially when he flickers, boom, Yums is on him.
All right, Onyx, they do have some ability to defend here, right? Retry down for the purple buff. Kyrie is able to get it. It's going to be helpful in this next big push as Kelra moves forward. And SRG, I think at this point, take these tier 2s. If you get anything more, it's definitely a bonus. But with a 7k gold lead, they could try to force things open.
Oh my god. On Uranus taking that much damage. Holy Shield procs in the end, and the charge still comes through. SRG now looking to get 2. Holy Shield's down before the 12th minute of the game. Innocent popping that damage again. The Synchro Fission doing work.
It's a scary bottleneck to come into against Onyx right now, even with the gold advantage.
Oh, no wonder. Look, Holy Crystal picked up already on a Harith. 11 minutes in, and he's on the way to the Divine Glaive.
It's definitely trouble for Onyx, but SRG respects the composition, right? You walk into that tower, you get hit by a big Frigid Glacier, you get hit by any of those big AoE skills. The possibility is there for a quick table flip, a quick turnaround by Onyx, so SRG has to play this smart. They can't brute force Onyx base open right now. 60 seconds for Lord, they just freeze lanes.
Solid for SRG. No real reason for them to push the tempo anymore. No real reason for them to take any risks. They have the lead. They can play it safe. Heck, Cram can take a beating as well, and he can get away from it. It's all good. Divine Glaive for Sans, though, and it's only a second item.
4.8 gold.
That's painful. Kelra able to spot Yums in that bush.
4.8k gold.
This is gonna be big right now. Yums gonna go for the cut right now. It's Kelra. He's gonna get caught as well. Blaze into it. Popped in. Oh! A kick, but it's gonna get canceled. Now Stormy dives in, picks up the kill with the Sky Piercer and the Lantern Flare. Kyrie with the blades. Uni jump in, and again the Purify out for Lutpi. But Kelra has finally been taken out.
2-for-1 trade for SRG. Right in front of the base, 10 seconds before Lord. It's exactly what SRG needs. They're finding these quick moments that they know that as long as we get one more hero, we can go for this big objective. We won't have them harassing us, and Kelra was the big problem in the last fight. So they know who they needed to lock onto, and Uni hasn't missed. 6-0-5, and with Kelra finally down, this is gonna give the advantage to Innocent in a lot of these fights. We saw the gold lead earlier. We saw how much damage he can output as well. So if Uni does start to fall off, that's going to be their next saving grace. A beautiful engage. Keyboy tries to stop it. He almost saves Kelra. He almost stops the big advance, but Kelra still gets caught off.
And this is the right side of that double-edged sword for Stormy. So many times in this tournament, he's going in, you know, even flickering forward, Crimson beaconing forward, and it just looks awkward. But that's where you find, you know, the benefits of having this crazy aggressive style on your mid lane on Stormy. When it works amazing. That shot into Kelra. This is such a good turret to take as well, man. It's going to be the far lane up there. Wait the Dragon onto Lutpi, Frigid Glacier, able to lock him down just for a bit as Yums is able to flicker out of it. Throws in Innocent, no Purify burnt out. Lord going to be dealt with as well. And SRG are happy with just a base turret on the far lane.
Clock is ticking though, they're at 10k. I think one more base turret could be helpful. Kelra getting faster and faster as this moves forward. Kyrie also, even though it's an assassin jungle, it's gonna start scaling eventually. SRG has to be careful about how long they want to let this game last.
I think at this point, SRG, they should be still very, very comfortable. Yes, Sonic have that scaling, but as long as SRG play around these side lanes, utilizing that advantage, there's not much Onyx can do, right? Because with this kind of composition, SRG can actually still blitz around the Lord. Now, once we get into Evolve Lord territory, that's where it will get kinda dicey for SRG, because then I don't think they will have enough firepower to burst the Evolve Lord. But for now, it's still chill.
All right, so basically Onyx just needs to survive this next one, right? Survive this next push. We get into Evolve Lord territory, taking a look at items.
3 more minutes.
3 more minutes. I mean, they have 2 inhibitors left. They have 2 inhibitors left. It's going to push down the top. I'm just saying it is possible.
It is.
Kyrie, Kelra, Lutpi, all of them have been playing a good game. Anyone else in SRG might have tried to finish this a little bit earlier. Anyone else with a 10k gold lead, they might have tried to shove things in, but the respect is there, and I'm wondering almost, is it too much respect? Are they playing too passive here? Kelra now also looking at almost getting maxed out on items. Kyrie fully stacked as well. All they really need at this point is Lutpi to catch up, Keyboy to catch up, so that you actually have a bit of a front line to survive the damage that Uni, Innocent, and Stormy are bringing.
For sure. I think the biggest gap right now has to be between the frontliners, man, because the damage dealers, as you mentioned as well, they're on the way to their full items, right? We're gonna get to a point where it won't really matter. Oh, hold on, Lutpi Takes a big beating. Doesn't use the Purify though. This is a pure 50-50. Now onto it. Kairi doesn't get it. It's going to be Uni and Innocent, I believe. Kairi wasn't able to get his hands on it, and without a purple buff, this will just be another free neutral objective, and then it's going to build from there, Trex. SRG, they're playing the safe game because they know as long as they're able to build these small wins, get those neutral objectives, and then transition them into structures, in the end, it's going to be very, very difficult.
He saved his retry. I'm wondering if the reason why is because Kairi wants to try to go for the steal here. Maybe. They wanted to bait out the retry so that he wouldn't have it to try to contest. Onyx is keeping a close play. Look at Yumes right now.
Cram as well in the back. Jikundo now the way to Dragon, but it goes into a different angle. In the back to Mikael with a crown as well. He's going to be on the top spot right now. Makai finds Innocent in the fight. Now he goes for the damage. It's only picks up that Godlike as he takes Kelra down. Both gold laners out of the fight.
This is huge for Onyx right now. Kairi, and this is what I meant. They hold on to it. Yes, we don't get the purple, but as long as we can dry, as long as we can hold things out a little bit, they do have a chance. The problem is that long lane, SRG's okay with playing it slow. Wow, SRG's okay with chilling it out. The engage comes in. Kelwer gets a good chunk of damage, and Keyboy plus Kairi on the bot side freeze Innocent, stop him, and Kairi's able to get the kill. And in that moment, SRG knows they have to back off. They don't want to play the long fight.
You gotta give props to Onyx, man. They layered their skills very well. The Wrath of the Dryad baited out the Purify. Then we saw the Frigid Glacier. Not the stun, but just the damage. Right as Kairi jumped off the Finch Poise with his own Defiant Blade to burst Innocent down. So now Innocent, he's also fallen. Both gold laners aren't deathless. The only man who's deathless right now is Uni. Bro, 7-0-5 on a Paquito.
Who would have thought? Who would have thunk? Another pick that's, you know, another crazy layer to the meta right now. Something that at first you see it, you doubt it, and SRG is making it work very well right now. But they are having some trouble closing this out. They're finding great position. Yumes always in a side bush. Cram always looking for an angle as well. Onyx has to watch out for it.
SRG are gonna go for the commitment here. They see the Ling. It's insta-commit. No way for Onyx to respond to this. They still want to try though. Look, he caught again. It's going to be the taunt landing with the stun boost right there. Uni with the red tree. Keeps it clean. Sounds to the background, waiting for a Frigid Glacier. Plays down as the passive. Going to be propped in the sky. Jumps in on Innocent. Picks up the blades. Picks it up. Waiting to try and appeal again. It's going to be Kairi with the blades. Over and over again. It's Cram in the back, waiting for a position. Signs for Innocent, but SRG got the neutral objective. Kai with the chase now onto Cram. No flicker available. Kelra wants to go with the chase as Keyboy cuts him off.
He doesn't have a Wrath of Dryad.
No, he doesn't. Doesn't land a taunt either. It's not the Evolved Lord yet, so Onyx, I feel, get the win with a mid and a gold traded. But if SRG can stop these three members from recalling, it's going to be massive.
The pincer's here. Uni comes in. This is going to be bad for Onyx.
Oh, watch out, Stormy he goes. We're trying to disperse the damage. Kairi able to get the Defiant Blade as Cram tries to get him down. Wave up top, and the Lord is going to come crashing down, but the mini wave's actually going to spawn in time. Look be there. Kairi with a Tempest of Blades gets him out. Look pay against 3 on this Uranus.
All he's got to do is keep him away from the base as Onyx tries to clear this Lord. All he's got to do is buy a little bit more time.
The Lord and the minions almost won SRG the game. Look, he falls in the end. No consecration, and now it's Innocent back up in the Lanadon.
Onyx with a Hail Mary play there, and SRG responding so cleanly, but it's not over yet. SRG still at the door. They're waiting for another wave to come down.
Oh no, Frigid Glacier, the Frozen as well. Innocent jumps over some encore, but now he's going to Kelra. Going with the lazy new one by Innocent. Takes him Uni!
Kyrie's trying to save it, but Uni wants to stop him. Kyrie gets the shutdown, the double, the back and forth. Neither team wanting to give this up.
We got a game in our hands. SRG versus Onyx. This really should have been a knockout stage game, but we find ourselves right here, right now, seeing it.
Every time you think it's going one team's way, something else happened. Uni with the immortality, then takes the shower shot by picking up the winner crown, gets the kill, but Kyrie pulls up in the nick of time. Not only is the game back and forth, but every single fight at this point is just tit for tat, punch for punch.
And now there's only one. It's just Cram who's deathless on the Hilda.
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
The wise man once said.
Mr. Cram. on the Hilda. Can you imagine that? The guy's like up in front, always flanking on a master
Normally
assassin.
that's the hero that should be dying the most. You know, that's the one that's like, oh, we just sacrificed the Hilda in the early game.
For sure. I mean,
Not Cram, though.
not Cram.
Not me.
He's
No
built
way.
different. 3-0 and 13.
All right. 13 is insane. We're at 20-9. Onyx finally with a grip on this game. It's down to tie game mode. The problem is Lord spawns on boss side, long lane, looking hard for Onyx.
Oh, he's gonna jump in. Oh, he's gonna burst it down! Straight up, what was that damage? Kai and Kelra together with the combo. Now it's up to Stormy and Uni, Cram and Yums in a 4v5.
Uni needs to find an angle in before Kelra shreds this down. Kyrie as well.
They got no red tree. They gotta play it slow. Kelra jumps with the BMI over on Cram. Now it's Lil P zoning in the backline as Cram tries to run away. BMI back again from Kelra as Lil P tries to stop Uni from getting into this Lord pit.
In the backside, a big kick from Yums.
Over on Santh, that was the follow-up. Yums goes down to Kelra. Onyx playing this game. Wave up top is good for SRG, but Onyx want to go for the Lord. Wave, wave, wave.
Someone's got to go back and someone's got to stay.
Oh my God.
Because if they lose this Lord, they may not survive the day.
Kelra over the blazing duet. Stormy gets out the Crimson Beacon. That's going to be him jumping back again with a nature from Kelra. Santh pops down the frigid glacier. It stuns Uni. Kai gets a shutdown. Cram's first death in game one.
And the crowd is electric right now. And we are losing our minds through this game. We're 22.5 minutes in. It's Stormy and Innocent defending the base. A Lord will be coming soon, but Onyx is already at the inhibitors.
Look at the death timer, 16 seconds on Yums, 30 on Uni. Cram is down for another 40. The Evolved Lord is going to spawn in the bottom lane. And Onyx want to utilize it. Innocent and Stormy. They've done this before.
They have done this before, but Kelra is shredding. Onyx doesn't want to show them the same respect that SRG showed them 10 minutes ago.
15 seconds now on Uni.
It's on the line.
They're buying good time. They're buying really good time. They actually saved this mid turret.
SRG,
They're going to have all 5.
yeah, they will have all 5. Does Onyx fully commit to this here? There's so many towers that they have to get through.
This is
the
a big
Lord will
Lord.
take a good chunk of damage.
Tier 2 up top, gonna fall down as well as Kai deals with the waves, but now it's gonna be the Evolved Lord into the bottom lane. Winter Crown bot again after using the Wind of Nature in that previous fight. Good P.
Looking for an angle in. They're able to make their way forward.
Defense. Oh, Kelra! Again with the jump, it's Keyboard, who's able to find the right of the Giant. Innocent falls, Uni's next. Crab and Yums cannot defend. Only come back in game number 1.
It took 23 minutes. Multiple Lords, but Onyx finally pulled the game back into their hands, and that's only game number 1.
Wow.
What a series. What a game, I mean. Not a series, because we're just getting started right now. Onyx takes them the distance in that one. Pure insanity, and SRG played so well. Uni played so well. Multiple members of SRG going deathless throughout that whole game. But Onyx, I think, you know, I said it.
Yeah,
I said,
you
listen,
did.
if they buy too much time, I think they need to end this now. SRG being a little too passive. You've got a 10K gold lead. And they let it happen.
I think it's a mix as well, right? Like they were playing passive when they shouldn't. They were playing aggressive when they should be the ones playing passive as well. So many of these skirmishes were a bit too unnecessary with the 10,000 gold lead, having the macro advantage on the map as well. Here as well, right? I mean, the dive over under tier 2, it made for a hell of a highlight for Uni, but it wasn't the right call if you look at the macro decision making. Why dive a tier? Why dive a base turret?
Calls were made, plays happened, and SRG takes the first loss in this best of 3. But the possibilities at this point are on us, but Kelra, it took him a little bit of time. The moment we saw that first fight where he got the big blazing duet off up in the top lane, we knew the damage was there. Once he got his Holy Trinity in, as he collected more items, he didn't even have to be passive about it. He could just jump into 3 or 4 of them and completely shred down Stormy. How we doing, Virgo?
Dude, I'm looking at that play again,
well,
right?
Say hello.
I know.
Say hello to the people.
I know. I just want to look at that play because
he's got to go back and let us know about it.
Dude, Kelra, I was just like, I don't know what that damage. I think he was fully stacked up. I think that's exactly what it is. He's fully stacked up on both Corrosion, yeah, and his Art of Thievery. So That's why it looked like insta burst.
It
wasn't
literally
even
just looked like
DPS.
it looked like he blew them up and did not
Yeah.
shred them down.
That's why.
It was
That's why
no longer a
I needed to
shreddle.
look back.
There's definite insanity. Taking a look at some of these stats, you know, we got to go back to Uni, man, because he did have